Imagine sitting on a plane, drink in hand, looking out the window at the beautiful Hawaiian coast. And then, in less than a second, the ceiling above you is just gone. Blue sky. 24,000 feet up. 300-mile-per-hour winds in your face. That's not a movie scene. That actually happened. April 28, 1988. Aloha Airlines Flight 243. No roof. One engine dead. Landing gear light not working. And somehow, they landed it. This is that story. Hilo to Honolulu. 35 minutes. One of the shortest commercial routes in America. This particular Boeing 737, nicknamed Queen Liliuokalani, had already done 3 round trips that same day. It was basically a flying bus. Captain Robert Skornsteimer, 44 years old. 6,700 hours on this exact model. First Officer Madeline Tompkins, 36 years old. 3,500 hours on the 737. Between them, more flight time on this plane than most people have hours of sleep. In the cabin, Flight Attendant Clarabelle Lansing, 58 years old. 37 years with Aloha Airlines. Everyone called her CB. She always had flowers in her hair. 95 people on board. Perfect weather. Routine flight. Nothing to worry about. Except, one passenger boarding noticed something. A crack. On the fuselage. Clear as day. She assumed the airline knew. Didn't say anything. Got on the plane. That crack was exactly where the roof tore open 26 minutes later. 1:48 p.m. 24,000 feet. 26 miles from Maui. CB Lansing was at row 5, handing a drink to a passenger. That passenger, William Flanagan, was on an anniversary trip with his wife. He later said, "William Flanagan, she was just handing my wife a drink. And then, whoosh. She was gone. Their hands just touched when it happened. Gone. Just like that." CB Lansing, sucked through a hole in the fuselage. 24,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean. An 18.5-foot section of the roof had ripped off completely. Passengers in the front rows were now sitting under open sky. 300-mile-per-hour winds. Freezing cold. Wires hanging everywhere. In the cockpit, Captain Skornsteimer turned around. No door. No ceiling. Just blue sky where the first-class cabin roof used to be. Captain Schornsteimer. It was almost like being in a dream. It's so unexpected your mind tries to protect you. But he had no time for dreams. Controls were loose. Plane rolling left and right. Get on the ground. Now. The wind was so loud in the cockpit, the pilots literally could not hear each other speak. They flew the entire emergency using hand signals. Like charades. Except losing meant 95 people died. In the cabin, Flight Attendant Michelle Honda was thrown to the floor by the decompression. She got up. And crawled. Hands and knees. The entire length of the aisle. Checking on passengers. Keeping people calm. With the roof gone above her head and 300 miles per hour winds screaming around her. Absolute hero. The pilots descended fast. 4,100 feet per minute at one point. Below 14,000 feet, Tompkins finally got through to Maui Tower. She described it as a rapid decompression. Which, technically accurate. Also the understatement of the entire decade. Then, approaching Kahului Airport, another problem. Landing gear lowered. Main gear, green. Good. Nose gear light? Nothing. Broken light, or gear not down. If the gear wasn't down at 170 knots. Not great. They tried the manual override. Twice. Still no light. Captain made the call. Going in anyway. And then, the left engine quit. No roof. No nose gear confirmation. One engine. 170 knots. Just another day at the office for Captain Skornsteimer. At 1:58 p.m., exactly 13 minutes after the roof blew off, Aloha Flight 243 touched down on runway 2 at Kahului Airport. The nose gear? Down the whole time. Indicator light destroyed by the decompression. Of course it was. They stopped using reverse thrust from the one working engine. 94 people walked off that plane alive. When ground crews saw it roll in, they froze. A Boeing 737 with its entire forward roof section gone. Jagged metal. Seats exposed to open sky. Wires hanging. One worker said he literally couldn't process what he was looking at. The island had 2 ambulances. 2. For 65 injured passengers. So they borrowed tourist vans from a local company called Akamai Tours. 2 of the drivers used to be paramedics, so they just started treating people on the runway. I could not make this up. 65 injured. 8 seriously. All recovered. A 3-day Coast Guard search found no trace of CB Lansing. Or the missing section of roof. Both vanished into the Pacific. Clarabelle CB Lansing. 58 years old. 37 years of flowers in her hair. The only one who didn't come home. Quick version, because you deserve to know. This plane had made 89,680 takeoffs and landings. In salty, humid Hawaiian ocean air, basically metal kryptonite. Every flight stresses the fuselage joints. Every single one. 89,680 times. Way past its design limit. The FAA only required inspections on 2 critical joints. The rest? Up to the airline. Aloha Airlines skipped them. Cost saving. Very expensive decision, as it turned out. After Flight 243, Congress passed the Aviation Safety Research Act of 1988. Mandatory inspections. Fleet-wide checks. New aging aircraft rules. The biggest lesson, it's not how old a plane is. It's how many times it has taken off and landed. That principle now protects every passenger in the world. No roof. One engine. Unknown landing gear. Tourist vans on standby. And 2 pilots who just got it done. Captain Skornsteimer. First Officer Tompkins. Michelle Honda crawling that aisle. All heroes. And somewhere over the Pacific, in the blue sky she spent 37 years flying through, CB is still out there. Next time a flight attendant does their safety demo, watch them. Because if things go wrong, it's the crew, not the roof, that holds everything together. Hit subscribe for more real aviation stories every week. And drop a comment, would you have reported that crack? Because honestly, I don't know if I would have either. See you in the next one.